What's up, guys? It's Devin from Neptune Design, and I want you to tell me if this is something that you do when you run your campaigns. Because it's something that I've been doing, and I've got a feeling that a lot of people have been running their campaigns this way. You start your new campaign, and then you choose whatever your target is. So, for example, you choose sales. And then you say you want to run a display campaign. It really doesn't matter. It could be search, could be display, shopping, video. And the next thing you do is fill in your business website and you go through to the next section. And once you go through to the next section, you are presented with a whole lot of settings. So what you usually do is you would choose the location that you want to target. Maybe South Africa, could maybe be the States. You choose your bidding settings, and obviously if you've been watching this channel already, you've been through a lot of our videos and you know how to choose bidding settings. You choose a budget that you're more or less comfortable with to spend on a daily, and then you get to this part over here where you have to choose your audiences. So what you end up doing is you start doing a few guesstimates. So you'll say maybe something like gym. Do a search, say information about starting a gym. Yeah, why not? Why not? Add a few of these. Add a few of these categories in, and then you look at demographics. You're like, okay, everything looks more or less fine here. Let's move on. I do want everyone as my customer anyway. And after that, you load your ads and you start your campaign. And what usually happens is you run your campaign for a week or 2 weeks. You end up getting a whole lot of weird results. So either you get no conversions, or you get a low click-through rate, or you get conversions but they're not the type of conversions that you're looking for, or you just start getting a whole lot of weird results. And you come back here and then you sit and you think, what should I change to get better results? So you say, maybe it's my bidding strategy, and you go back and you say, okay, I'm going to choose maximize conversions. And you say, well, maybe it's my budget. Maybe I need to increase my budget. And then you change it to maybe $200. And then after that, you're like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have people with all of these weird foreign categories. And I'm just going to say people selecting information about starting a gym. Or maybe I should add fitness. That's what I'll do. I'll take fitness and I'll add women's fitness tips, and now I'll add it to my audience. And demographics, I'm gonna take away the teenagers and I'm gonna take away the old people, and maybe, just maybe, I'll get a better result. And the reason why your campaigns are not working for you is because you keep on just changing settings randomly, hoping that things will get better. So what happens is you can't actually even compare your previous week's data to the new week's data, because you don't even remember all of the settings that you've changed. And the reason is because you're not working with structure. You're not working with a plan to get from point A to point B. You're just trying different dials and different knobs and different settings, hoping that you'll magically stumble upon something that's going to work for you and work for your business. Now, I made this video for with 4 different answers in mind. And if you want to watch this video through, I'm going to give you 4 outcomes that you're going to get from this video. Okay, so number 1. If you don't know why you keep on getting poor results with your Google Ads, stay to the end of this video. If you're feeling lost when it comes to choosing settings and demographics in your Google Ads settings, then stay to the end of this video. Number 3, if you're not sure what type of ads or content to create, then you should watch this video. And lastly, if you don't know how to benchmark your campaigns, if you don't know how to compare the performance of your campaign to see if you're really doing good, or if it just feels like you're doing good, then stick to the end of this video. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so I want to show you a professional way of running your Google Ads, and I want to give you a more structured approach. And I don't want you to feel bad about it or beat yourself up, because I've been running Google Ads for maybe the past 4 years, and the first 2 years this was exactly how I worked, like what I just showed you, whereby I would just go in and I would just change settings and hope that by changing settings, somehow magically, I would get more conversions or that I would get more customers. And really, what I'm trying to get to with this video is I'm trying to show you a better way of running your campaigns and structuring it so that your outcomes will be better. Okay, so I made up a fake customer. This is purely a concept, but I'm going to take you through this concept just to show you how I think my way through a campaign and how I try and run the campaign to get a lot of outcomes that the business would want. Okay, so the strategy that we're going to go through today is for a gym based in Tokyo, Japan. So if anyone is Japanese here, I apologize completely if I'm butchering any names or not getting anything right. So yeah, there it is. So I'm very sorry. I'm apologizing in advance. Okay, so it's for a gym in Tokyo, and we have to talk about the challenge of this gym. Okay, so the gym has basically been operating for 2 years. It's got 5 gyms, and they are looking to expand to Tokyo South with 15 more gyms. Now, it's looking to increase its monthly sign-up rate by 20%, and it's also looking to appeal to younger clients so that they can grow their customer base. Now, the goals for this gym is, firstly, of course, to get new gym members. So they're looking to onboard about 1,500 new gym members. They're looking to get more email subscribers onto their newsletters. And of course, they want to get more YouTube subscribers as well. Okay. So if we break it down into monthly metrics, we can see that it basically works out to 125 members a month. 708 email subscribers, and 833 new YouTube channel subscribers every single month. So those are our monthly goals and our monthly metrics. Okay, so let's say Devin comes in and then he proposes that we do all of these wonderful goals, and we do it using Google Ads, using digital marketing. Okay, the next thing would be to figure out who we're trying to reach with our marketing efforts. In other words, we need to figure out who really is our target audience, because the problem is with most people is that their marketing is so wide that they think they're going to capture all customers. They think that if they market to the whole USA, that they're going to get customers from the whole USA, and everybody's just going to come running into their website and buy everything they have on the shelf. That is very seldom the truth, because if you think about your daily life and you think about how many ads you see, be it on YouTube, be it on your favorite blog, be it on the website, how many of those do you remember? And although you're being showed thousands upon thousands and thousands of ads, you're not really remembering any of those ads, purely because the ads are too broad. The targeting is too broad. Okay, so let's narrow it down. So let's talk about the target audience first and foremost. I want you to think about where your clients are, who they are. So if I would say that if your ideal client or your ideal super fan for your brand fell out of the sky tomorrow, who would that person be? So for this Tokyo Gym concept, we're saying that they are young professionals, mostly university graduates who have just landed their first job, and they are looking for a way to stay active while meeting new people and escaping the frenetic city life. So now we've got our target audience. Okay. And all of this is helping us lock in on the key message that we need to deliver. So now let's talk about that target audience. So what I usually do is I make up imaginary characters, or I make up people and I give them backstories, just so that we can have a clear picture of who we're marketing to. So, for example, Akihiro Sato, he's a junior illustrator or designer working at a design firm based in Ginza. He usually works long hours and he has a fairly stress-free life. He's looking to run a marathon in Kanazawa, and he's actively looking for a gym to help him meet his fitness goal. So let's go through some of the demographics. Now remember guys, this doesn't have to be correct information. What I mean by correct information, it shouldn't be an exact person. This is how you would picture the ideal client in your mind. The reason being is, if you could develop a picture in your mind of the ideal client, okay, with a little bit of boundaries, with a little bit of rules attached to it, it's going to make your demographic choosing and your campaigns so much better. So for example, he's 27 years old. He's a graduate at Tokyo Communication Arts College. He's male, single. He's a junior illustrator. We know that already. I've already written down his income, because if you're marketing to people and you're not sure what their income level is, it's kind of hard to sell them the product. So for example, if you're selling yachts and you go to a third world country like South Africa, and you maybe try and market to the whole of South Africa, you might find that most of the population actually can't afford yachts. It would suit you better to find the areas with the very highest income and market only to those areas. Not only will you save on your advertising budget, but you'll also get much higher results per click, by just focusing hard and thinking about what type of person do I want to reach. Okay, so we've got his income over there, his location, and we've got some personality attributes for him as well. Moving on, let's talk a little bit more about him. Okay, what are his motivations? Maybe improving his social life, maybe becoming a popular illustrator. What types of things is he scared about? Maybe being lonely, maybe not completing his marathons. What are the types of challenges that he would face? We know that in Japan, people are very hard workers, so he might be very career focused and therefore not have a lot of time to gym. So maybe for him, flexibility is important. Maybe he gets bored very easily, so he loses focus when the exercise plans are too repetitive. Maybe he wants a gym that reflects his creative personalities. All of these things that I'm going through helps me put myself in the mind of the ideal customer, and it helps me through the marketing process. And guys, you must remember, you could do this on the pen and paper. This is long before you even open up Google Ads, because you should think of Google Ads like an execution tool. And you should think of this like drawing up the blueprint. So it's pointless in you going to the execution stage, which most people, if not 90% of us do, before we really understand who we're marketing to. So that's his motivations, goals, fears, and challenges. And then let's talk about media habits, okay? What is his technology usage? Now, did you know in Google Ads you could actually market either to exclusively to mobile, to tablet, or to all devices? So we need to figure out what device he's actually on. So for him, it would be mostly mobile and notebook. His purchasing preferences would be a small upfront commitment. And last but not least, his media habits would be Instagram, spends a lot of time there. YouTube, spends a lot of time there. Behance, he spends a lot of time there. And gaming, he's a StarCraft 2 fan and a CSGO fan. Now, straight away, we can see that we can run some Instagram ads, we can run some YouTube ads, and maybe find some sites like Behance that maybe designers would be interested in, and maybe run some ads over there. So already we've got a few targeting examples. And if we go back, we've already got some demographic examples as well. Now, obviously, the more case studies that you, or rather, let me say, the more ideal buyers that you include, the better. But I would say try and keep it below 3, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to run a very focused marketing campaign. Okay, so let's talk about our next person. This is Yua Goto. She is a junior lawyer and recently graduated from law school. Okay, so I've also written a backstory for her, and I've gone through some of her demographics as well. She's 24, so now you can see between her and the gentleman that we had first, they're about between 24 to 27 years old, maybe 29 years old as well. And let's talk about her education. She's from the University of Tokyo, female, single, junior lawyer with an income of about 10,000 yen annually, and her location is Akihabara, Tokyo South. Again, forgive me if I'm butchering that. So what I did is I also built up a profile for her. What she wants, she's more into weight loss, stress relief, and attending yoga classes. So what she's trying to do is she's basically trying to escape from her working life, and she's kind of looking for a gym that's going to help her to do that. So as you can see, slightly different than Akiro, but still focused on getting a gym so that she can basically live a life in a more balanced way. So her challenges are stress relief, man, my English today, stress relief, long working hours, an unbalanced diet, fast, impactful workouts. That's what she wants, and obviously staying flexible as well. Now, how do we tie this all in together? Okay, I've got media habits as well. And as you can see, she's mostly mobile and she plays a few mobile games as well. Again, common theme, Instagram and YouTube comes up. Okay, so now we need to focus on our messaging. This is also a crucial part, because sometimes, I don't know if you've seen those ads where they just talk and talk and talk about features, and by the time they're done talking, you don't know what you've heard and what you didn't hear. Now, I want you to focus on last time you heard an ad that really made you feel something inside. An ad that really resonated with you. The reason why it resonated with you was because the message in the ad was on point. The message in the ad was clear, and the message in the ad was focused. So we want to develop that clear, focused messaging in our ads as well. So we could use themes like create a new body for yourself. Something that's very clean, that's very to the point, and that's for somebody who is looking to create a new body for themselves. We could use messaging like go stress-free with Tokyo Jimu. Also, this helps you think about stress relief. It helps you think about peace. It helps you think about getting away from everything. That's why I chose that particular image. And also, this image shows off flexibility, and it's cool because it says fitness plus peace equals balance, but we could also say fitness plus peace equals, and we could put the company name in there as well, and it works. And guys, these are not ads. This is just purely me thinking through the messaging that I want to put into the ads, the wording that I want to put into the ads. How do I want somebody to feel when they watch the ad? Okay, so this is basically the messaging done, and we know now that we've got our target demographic, we've got our messaging on point, and now we get down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, how are we actually gonna go about running this campaign? Okay, so what I want you to do is firstly think about mediums. Okay, mediums would be the places that our eyeballs, the eyeballs that we're after, are looking at. Okay, so you can't have a medium where your client isn't. So for example, if you're looking to get young people 16 years and older, or 16 years and younger, and you want to advertise in a newspaper, you are going to get zero customers because young people don't really care about newspapers. So you have to match where you market to the people that you're marketing with. And this is important. Guys, the answer is not always Google Ads. It's not. Don't just assume that, okay, you're going to use Google Ads because it's powerful and you like the targeting. If your key demographic is on TikTok, then I suggest you use TikTok ads. If your key demographic is on LinkedIn, then I suggest you use LinkedIn ads. The answer is not always Google Ads. So let's talk about some of our mediums. Which of these mediums are the best for our message? If we do search engine marketing, we could use the display network. We could reach a lot of people on Google itself with searches for gym. So that would be a good fit for us. Instagram would also be a good fit for us as long as we keep our messages there highly visual. Okay. Podcasts, not really for the type of campaign that I want to run. Now, that's not to say that podcasts don't work, but not for the type of campaign and for the type of people that I want to reach. Okay. Email marketing, yes, definitely. Why? Because we want to grow that email subscriber base. Print marketing, pamphlets, leaflets, not really. And TV, definitely not, because that demographic, as we saw from our case studies, if I just go back up there, as we saw from our case studies, they're not really spending much time on TV. And he's not really spending much time on TV either. So being on TV would really not help our cause, okay? So we've already figured out what mediums are the best for our message. Next thing I want to do is I want to say, take those mediums and let's break down how we're actually going to approach it, okay? So for search engine marketing, first question is there a significant portion of our audience there? Yes. How do our topics and campaigns align there? They align there perfectly because what we're going to do is do a lot of search campaigns and display campaigns, so that's no problem. Instagram, is there a significant portion of our audience there? Yes. How do our videos and topics align there? Well, we can make how-to videos, we can make advice videos, and we can make healthy eating videos. Email and YouTube, yes and yes. And we can do more of the same with those two as well. And now we kind of are building a mental picture of how we're going to go about this, how we're going to present ourselves, and what type of topics we want to cover. Now, it's important that you do this exercise and that you go through this exercise so that you know exactly how you want to produce content and who that content is for. And last but not least, we are also going to talk about the campaign distribution. So we could say that on search engine, we want to go display ads and discovery ads. YouTube also discovery ads and display ads. Instagram, we want to do a more organic thing where people are sharing our posts. And we said podcast, not at all. So this is a mistake over here. We can take this line away over here. Okay, next, how are we going to produce our campaigns? You guys on your side, you probably have that sorted out. Okay, and last but not least, how much do we actually want to spend? Now, people will ask me, Devin, yeah, but how do I know what my budget should be? Like, how do I figure out what my actual budget should be on my campaigns? So if you want to figure out what your budget is going to be on your campaigns, here's what I suggest you do. I suggest you go to Google Keyword Planner, and I suggest you run some searches, and I suggest you add all of those searches up. So I'm going to be taking you through step by step how to do that, but I just wanted to show you this budget section because it is important. Okay, so I'm in Google Keyword Planner right now, and what we're going to do is we are going to run a search for some keywords and add them all into a keyword plan. So first of all, I'm going to change my location to Tokyo. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to search for some fitness related keywords. So for the sake of this video, we're not going to go through everything, but I just want to show you how I do it. So I would type in something like gym. I would say get results. And then I would look for the keywords with the highest average monthly searches and also the lowest competition. I'd also look to see if they are fairly reasonable. Now, these are in South African rands, but you can convert them to whatever currency you want. And obviously, based on your Google Ads account, it's going to show you whatever currency your country is using. Okay, so I am going to take these now and I am going to add them onto a keyword plan. So I can see all of the average monthly searches here. I can see the competition and I can see how much I'm going to be paying for it. And when I add everything together in my keyword plan, and if you want to know how to do that, just select there and you could say add keywords, and what it'll do is it'll add it to the specific plan that you have. Okay, so I'm going to go to plan overview. And as you can see now, it's basically giving me all of my benchmarks that I need. It's telling me for my budget, a daily budget of 1.3 thousand rand, I can expect 460 clicks. I can expect 19,000 impressions, and I can expect a click-through rate here. And my average position is not too far off the #1 position. You can also view your historical metrics if you want, and the forecast over time. And what's nice about this is an industry-wide benchmark for you to apply. So you can directly compare yourself to your competitors that are using the same search terms. Okay, so I'm going to switch back now to our plan. So to finish off then, I've got my budget that I've compiled, and I showed you guys how I created my budget. And then what I do is I take the top performing keywords and I put them in columns so that you can see what they are related to. So every top related keyword in terms of gymming or yoga or marathon exercise is in its own column with the related search terms. Once I do that, I also basically just take all the information or all the important information from Google Keyword Planner so that I have it at hand. And this is just to show you guys a breakdown of how I lay it out. And also, most importantly, I use my benchmarks. And obviously, if you guys are using it, it's going to be a big Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheet spreadsheet where you can see everything. But this is basically how I lay out my campaign. And I think that if you follow this process, not only will you be less stressed out, you'll also get better results because you'll start tweaking little things here and there instead of just trying to change as many settings as possible and hoping that something works. This is a much more structured approach. So I hope this has been helpful. And what I'll do is I'll also leave a link to this presentation in the description below so that you can see it and maybe work off it and maybe, I don't know, implement it in your own business. So you can check that out. And thank you very much for watching. If you would like some help with your Google Ads, reach out to us at neptunedesign.co.za and support the channel by subscribing, sharing, and liking our videos. And you can also check us out on Patreon. I believe there's a link in the description below. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope that you have lots of sales and conversions with Google Ads. Thanks.